it's prohibited to add to the Torah. How is that different than people that are doing things that are beyond the letter of the law? There's a very big difference. Adding to the Torah means that I'm doing something which has no source in Torah, and I'm adding it to what the Torah says. Torah says to put a mezuzah on my door, and I decided it would be better to put 2 mezuzahs on the door. Torah says to put 4 parshas in tefillin, and I decide it would be better to put in a 5th parsha in the tefillin. This is called adding to the Torah. Going beyond the letter of the law means that in the Torah itself, it gives us the option to observe a mitzvah a certain way. So there's a certain way of observing the mitzvah which is an absolute obligation, and that's sort of black and white. This you're allowed to do, this you're not allowed to do. Then there's a gray area where the Torah gives me the space that if I want to, I can go ahead and do it, but I'm not obligated to do it. And that's what it means to go lefnim mishuras adin, beyond the letter of the law. And in fact, that is, for example, tzedakah. A person's obligated to give 10% of their earnings for charity. But if a person wants to give more, the Torah says that it's acceptable to give more than 10%. That's the gray area. And everybody can choose how much more than 10% they're willing to give, or they're only willing to do what's obligated. Why is there a gray area, though? Torah is our light. The Torah gives us direction. Why doesn't the Torah say clearly this yes and this not? Why is there a gray area that depends on my decision? And the answer is, the purpose of that is to allow me to enhance the way I observe the mitzvahs. And by the way, it says in Gemara, one of the reasons given why the first Beis HaMikdash was destroyed was because people observed mitzvahs only, exclusively according to halacha, and didn't go beyond halacha. So we see there's something more to this. And the answer is, why is it so important? There are 2 ways of observing mitzvahs. One is very simple. God created the world. He created me. He gave me rules to live by and gave me commandments. I'm obligated to follow what Hashem gave me. It's an obligation. The other possibility is that observing Torah mitzvahs, because this allows me, of course I'm doing it because God commanded me, but I realize that being a Jew and having Torah mitzvahs allows me to develop a relationship with Hashem. And through the Torah mitzvahs, I connect to Him. When I study Torah, when I observe a mitzvah, it's like I'm embracing Hashem. So I'm doing this out of love. In a sense, this means that Yiddishkeit has a body and a soul. The body is the actual observance of the mitzvah. The soul is the love for Hashem, which gives life to the mitzvah that I observe. So this is the difference. When a person observes a mitzvah because I'm obligated, even if they do it meticulously, but I'm doing it because I'm obligated, they don't see the need to do more than what I'm obligated. They count, they calculate, they measure what and how much I'm obligated. When a person does a mitzvah because of love, it's an expression of their love for Hashem, and they realize that by doing this mitzvah, I'm embracing Hashem, and I'm able to express my love for Hashem, then actually the opposite is true. How does a person express their love by Hashem? Specifically by doing those things that I'm not obligated. And I go out of my way to do something that I'm not obligated, and that's how I can truly express my love for Hashem. And that person doesn't count, doesn't calculate. In fact, they're always looking for what more can I do to get closer to Hashem. Someone once told me that he was in an office and he saw near the clock where you punch in, punch out, there was a sign. And the sign read, "If you don't believe in the resurrection of the dead, come here at 5 o'clock. What that meant was, when you come to the office, 4 o'clock, everybody is sluggish. Their heads are on the table. They look like they're falling asleep. Suddenly, 5 o'clock, everybody is alive. Why? These are people who are employees, and they're working from 9 to 5. Once the clock hits 5, I'm out of here. And I don't have to think about it until tomorrow, 9 o'clock in the morning. In other words, these are my hours. The one who owns the business, he's there before 9 o'clock, he's there after 5 o'clock, and he's always thinking about what he can do to grow the business because he's excited about what he's doing and he has a passion for what he's doing. Therefore, he doesn't calculate and doesn't measure. He just does everything he can do that'll help him develop this business and earn more and more money. So when a person is passionate about their relationship with Hashem, then they look for what can I do to express my love for Hashem in a deeper way, and that is by doing something which is going beyond the requirement of halacha. Just to give another example, in the Chumash we have a story with Bilam. Bilam was a sorcerer and a prophet for the non-Jews, and he wanted to curse the Jews. But when he opened up his mouth, a blessing came out. The king that hired him to do this, the king was very upset with him. He said, I hired you to curse them, and not only you didn't do that, you gave them a blessing. And he said these words, Le'uchal laver pi Hashem. I'm sorry, I can't go against the words that come out from Hashem's mouth. So if Hashem tells me to say these words, I have no choice. But what happened when he didn't succeed? He said, let me see, maybe I can curse them from this spot. When that didn't work, he said, let me go to another spot. If he knew that Hashem doesn't want him to do it, why did he do it? And the answer is, he wasn't interested in doing what Hashem's will is. He just knew that he has to follow the commandments. And if Hashem commands him, he has no choice. The way it's supposed to be is that I want to do things because that's Hashem's will and Hashem's wish. And therefore, I want Hashem to have pleasure from what I do. And the more I can do, the happier I am. And that's the going out beyond the letter of the law.